Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to a yoga sequence for the lower back, strengthening and relieving the lower back. You can stretch side to side, bend your knees, and folding forward. Let your chest hang over your legs, resting your chest on your thighs. And let's bring the hands on the floor. Step back into downward facing dog. Feet are hip width apart and the hands are shoulder width apart. Lifting the tailbone as high as you can, lifting the hips towards the ceiling, pulling the belly in. And slowly lower your knees on the floor, coming into all fours, rounding the back. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, arching. Exhale, looking towards the navel. Inhale, looking up, lengthening the back of the neck. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Coming back to neutral. And here we're gonna just lower down onto our bellies, hands underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna lift opposite hand to leg a few times, lifting as high as you can. These are called swimmers, so alternate and lift as high as you can, engaging your lower back. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders, lift up and sit back, child's pose, allowing your shoulders to drop and allowing your sitting bones to drop back down onto or towards your heels. And one more time, lower down onto your belly, hands underneath the shoulders, come up cobra pose, tuck the tailbone under and keep your elbows bent, tucking them into the rib cage. Release, clasp behind you, and lift your chest off the mat, reaching in front of you. Legs and hands off the floor. Lift a few times here. Increase progressively as you do this practice and lift you a few times more each time. Hands underneath the shoulders, press yourself up in a straight line, and we're gonna walk the knees into the chest 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's come into a seated. Extend your left leg in front of you, right foot into your left inner thigh. Reach up and exhale, folding forward, allowing the knee to drop. Changing sides. And let's bring the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to drop out to the sides. Butterfly pose. You can press on your thigh one at a time, allowing the knee to lower down, softening the adductors, softening the hips. And we're gonna reach with the left arm up, bring it over your right knee and look behind you, twisting. And change sides. Right hand to the left knee, look over your left shoulder. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Continuing with the hip openers, we're gonna bend the right knee and bring the foot on the floor. Left elbow on the outside of the right knee, twist, soften your belly, look behind you. Press the extended leg down into the floor. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Great. And let's bring the foot over, right foot over or right ankle over the left knee. You can bend forward here or you can just sit. sitting up. Here we're opening the hip. You should feel this in your hip, allowing the knee to drop away, down, away from you. Flexing both feet. Inhale, coming up. Changing sides. Bend the left knee, step the left foot on the floor, bring the right hand on the outside of the left knee. Flex your right foot. Look over your shoulder. Inhale, coming out of this, and here you can see how I'm bringing the ankle right above the knee, allowing the left knee to drop away from me, flexing both feet. Make sure to keep your feet flexing. You're protecting your knees, and you can bend forward, optional. Inhale, coming out of this. Exhale, hands on the floor. And here we're going to progress onto the hip openers, flexing both feet. Here the ankles are going to be stacking on top of each other. So ankles on top of knees, knees on top of ankles. Flexing both feet. Make sure that if you touch your shin bones, they're stacking on top of each other here. If your knees are not... If your top knee is not coming down, that's okay. Just keep it in the air and breathe into your hips. Eventually they will open more and more as you progress slowly and patiently with your practice. There is a triangle forming between your legs here. This is a deep hip opener, so take your time with it. Make it part of your practice. Add it to other classes. Changing sides, flexing the feet, bringing the ankle over the knee and the knee over the ankle. Shin bones stacking on top of each other. Bending forward again, optional only if that doesn't feel like you're pushing too much. Inhale, coming out of this. Spread your legs wide open, flex your feet. Either sit here with your hands behind you, or you can add side to side bends, or again optional, you can bend forward. You can take a bolster or a chair and bring it underneath your chest, or a pillow. You can have your hands underneath you for support. You can hold any of these poses for as long as you need to, or it feels appropriate for you today. When you come out of this, shake your legs out and go back into downward facing dog. Pressing the hips as high as you can, lifting the tailbone as high as you can. Spread the fingers wide open, keep your shoulders away from your ears. And come into plank. Lower down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. And here you can lift your legs off the floor, hands lifting off the floor, reach with your hands behind you, palms of the hands facing each other. Do a few more of those lifts. Clasp the hands behind you, lift as high as you can, lift your legs. Feel your lower back working, strengthening. Release the hands on the floor, press yourself up. Plank and downward facing dog. And here you can walk your feet to the center of the mat, walk your hands back to your feet, and wrap your elbows around, or rather wrists around your elbows, allowing the upper body to hang, letting the head be heavy. Keep your knees slightly bent. Great. Bend the knees and squat down, coming into a yogic squat, hands in prayer, elbows pushing the knees out, opening the hips. Press into the inner and outer edges of your feet. Keep your back straight. Don't round here. Keep the chest open. And back into plank. Side plank. I'm demonstrating side plank for beginners with your top leg, right leg in front of you on the floor. And change sides. Side plank over, left hand on the floor. You can bring your foot in front of you or on the floor. And release. Let's come down onto our backs. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Happy baby. Flex your feet, press your knees down by your rib cage. One more time, breathe into your hips. Soft, nice, deep breath. And let's bring the soles of the feet together. Release your feet on the floor in supine butterfly pose. Turn the palms of your hands up, open the chest. Drop the shoulders, keep the neck elongated. And let's bring the knees back up, stepping onto the feet. Lift your booty up for bridge pose. You can clasp your hands underneath you, feet pointing directly forward, toes pointing directly forward. Lift your body as high as you can, bringing the chest back towards you. And slowly lower down one vertebra at a time, coming back to reclining butterfly pose. Keeping the chest open, the breath easy. And stay here, just paying attention to your breath for 20 to 30 breaths. And when you're ready, come out of this pose slowly and mindfully. First bringing the hands underneath the legs, slowly bringing the knees up, slowly rolling on one side, and slowly pressing yourself up. Thanks for joining me today. Namaste.